Yeah. Now you can hear me. It's a privilege for me to be here today and give my speech to you. And as Richard said, innovation and also maturity is very important for me. And I have been working with this for many, many years. I am from Delta, and Delta is a little company, 300 employees, North Copenhagen. And as Richard said, we are working with innovation. We sometimes say that we are a kind of innovation house, but we really also is a testing house. Is that better?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So we are working a lot with different types of areas here. Electronics. We have a lot of tests for many types of electronic. We are working with sensor systems, light and optics, acoustic and vibrations, point of care, and the last one here, incubation and improve. And this little improve is the department where we come from Delta. You have met two other people from Delta also. So what we are doing here is to perform assessments and work with process improvement and innovation and training in mainly Danish companies, but we also work in other companies outside Denmark. Go away. First, I will tell you a little about my learning. It is so that after my education many years ago, you can see it on the color of my hair, I worked 15 years in a Danish company, Brødrene Kjær, where I was developer, I was project manager, I worked with process improvement and quality systems. And after that, I changed to Delta 17 years ago, where I started with maturity assessment. At that time, it was Bootstrap, and Richard was my teacher. I then was a department manager for some years, and I ran some national large projects we called innovation consortiums. That includes some universities, Danish companies, normally 3 years project, where we learn a lot. And what we learned about was, for instance, maturity assessments in Denmark in a Danish context. Was it possible? Yes, it was. But we also learned a lot other things. I'll tell you that in the next slide. Then we, during the maturity assessments, found out that there were some weaknesses, especially in the Danish companies, in different areas. So we set up some training in project management, configuration management, the innovation manager, and the scope manager, and the improvement manager, and the process improvement manager. So we have a lot of training going on to help the companies get the right competences. I have also had the privilege to perform nearly 50 innovation checks together with the top management in Danish middle-sized companies. And it was very interesting to see how many things you can bring into a company during 2 days of work together with the top management. So from my point of view, innovation is very much driven from ideas coming from outside the companies and not only from what the users would like to have. Then I have been working with the Software Process Improvement Manifesto. We did it, was it 3 years ago, in Alcalá in in Spain, and it was a very interesting process, and I'll tell you a little more about that. And the last thing I have been involved in is this 33014 standard. That's a guideline for process improvement. And in fact, this is the essence of what we have in our improvability model. So that's part of that. So that's where I have got my knowledge from. And if we see, the first I was interested in was development disciplines. Then it moved to product development maturity. Later on, process improvement, improvability. And now I'm focused a lot on competences which are needed to be in a company to have the processes running well. So that's how my focus has changed a little over time. And what Delta have learned is that the first innovation consortium we ran, that was about maturity models in a Danish context. And here we figured out what was difficult using the maturity models. And we also found that if you are performing an assessment, it's not necessarily so that you are getting better. Maybe it only will be a report on the shelf. So we needed to figure out what was the driver behind success in improvement. So therefore we got a new innovation consortium where we developed this improvability model, which has 20 parameters, which is the main thing to focus on to get success in improvement. And this is also what's in this ISO 33014 standard. And the last innovation consortium, which ran for the last 3.5 years, ended up in Roskilde last year. It's about outsourcing. There's a lot of companies working with outsourcing, and they are not all successfully with outsourcing. So we would like to figure out what is main problems and what to do with those. And that was aim for this project. And then you have the SPI manifesto, and you can find it in Japanese and Spanish and of course English and maybe other languages now. So it spreads over the world, and it's used in training. So I think that was a very good initiative we took at that EuroSPI conference 3 years ago. And we have worked with the process improvement manager. And if you look into this training course, you will find both the improvability model, you will find the SPI manifesto, and you will also find this ISO 33014. So it combines all our learning over years. And then innovation. I very much look into this, and if we will survive, we need to innovate. So that will be the focus. Next one. But first I'll tell you a little about the SPI manifesto. So what we did was that we collected around 40 experts from all over the world, put them into a large workshop in Alcalá. And during this workshop, we figured out what is the main values in software process improvement and what is the principles behind. That was one day's work, but after that we worked another 3 months to figure out what should be written in the manifesto. It was around editors several times, but we succeeded, and we got the Software Process Improvement Manifesto. So what is in it? Well, it's obtain knowledge on software process improvement. It's important that we get the persons together who very much work with this topic, and then figure out what the values, what the principles, but also to come up with some examples, so it's easier to understand what's about the values and principles. So, expertise for use as responsible for software process improvement. It's very important that we get the right experience for this use included in the manifesto. And we think it today supports change and it's basis for improvement, because you can go back to the manifesto and get some information. And these were the persons behind the manifesto. I'm sure that you recognize several of those. Then Monday we had a workshop in how to innovate innovation. It was also a very interesting workshop, and you can see the agenda here. But what's important is that we ended up in a discussion on how to include innovation in the software process improvement manifesto. And that was a very difficult discussion. But during the day we got very many important informations, and we got input from very good presentations, and we had a lot of good discussions, and I think the workshop was very creative. And what we discussed us to was that the conclusion is that it gives no sense to reopen the software process improvement manifesto, because if we should that, we need to go back to all the people who has given their input. So we discussed if we could make a addendum with that, which then included maybe a new value and some new principles, but that didn't work either. So we took the decision that we will not reopen the software process improvement manifesto, and will not make an addendum. So we need to make a new manifesto, an innovation manifesto. And we need to find out what's the core values behind innovation and what's the principles behind, and then form a new innovation manifesto. So that was the conclusion. But all the information we have got from the presentations and the discussions, we have that as a basis now. So what we would like to do is to make a new innovation manifesto, and we'll do it next year. So we have now 1 year to plan and to make it happen. So inspiration and maybe structure can still come from the software process improvement manifesto. So if it's possible to have the same structure with values, we have 3 groups of values in the manifesto. Maybe there will be 4 or 2, I don't know. And then the principles behind and the examples. So it could be nice if you could see those 2 manifestos aside. But we need to go into the work at the workshop next year to figure out. So the conclusion from that workshop is that it would be nice if there was links between maybe those different types of manifestos, but also if we look into the training courses we could think on, it would be the innovation manager. So we could have the innovation manager skill card, and it would be nice if there was a link to the innovation manifesto. So an idea could be that we had different units. We could have this innovation maturity model, which we worked with at the workshop, and we have tried out in a Danish company. There could be a unit where we reflected on maturity models in innovation, and there could be another one where we took the improvability model, which also includes parameters related to innovation. And we could have another unit around different types of innovation. And also there will be an overlap to valorization manager, which also is a ECQA training course. So maybe we would like to think in some modular approaches for the innovation manager skill card. So we need to update the innovation manager training course, and when we do that, we could have this in mind, and maybe a modular thing like this would be nice. Also, then it's maybe easier to work on and to deliver in the end, because we could put responsibles on those units. So that could be an idea. So if we take the summary, we will next year plan for this workshop for an innovation manifesto. And hopefully I can get a lot of you experts to take part in this workshop, so we can get as much information and the right information into the manifesto. And then we will also update the Innovation Manager training course. And we also already have started this work. And after the conference today, we'll have a meeting 3:45 in KR7. And there we will start discussion on the update of the Innovation Manager training course. And all of you who are interested and have the possibilities, you are welcome to take part in this meeting. Another thing is that in Denmark we have an ongoing national project which we call service innovation in value chains. And in this project, we very much would like to have an international network going on. So I'll start to also in this meeting to hopefully get the persons working with this Innovation Manager training course to be part of this international network in service innovation. And service innovation is maybe the unit I will work with. We'll see. So you are very welcome to participate if you have interest in this and the possibilities for it. Any questions? Yeah, Gabriella.
Do I need a mic? No.
7 seconds.
7.
7, 6.
Jan, from discussions and trainings on sustainable development, I learned that ex-novation is as important as innovation. Have you included already some thoughts about including ex-novation?
Not myself, but I think it's a good idea. So,
Great.
Yeah.
So this is your unit, yeah?
Yes, with pleasure. I'm serious.
Yeah. Okay, we still have to discuss what's a unit, what an element, because otherwise we get this flip chart.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good idea. So for those, the Japanese guests know from the talk for two weeks ago that this is about ECQA partly, about the professions and the packaging of knowledge into professions and transport of that to industry. So when we have, let's say, many papers about innovation in EuroSpy over years, we package it in form of a certificate, a European certificate. So EuroSpy is not only a conference, we also have a mechanism in the background that we package and can certify with a European Certification Qualification Association. This was this idea to package the innovation contributions new and updated. Okay.
And what I also hope for is that we can have a concept where we have some basic knowledge, we have some advanced and expert. So we have 3 levels. And I hope that the basic level could be based on e-learning. So you could sit wherever on the globe and take e-learning and then go to the ECQA homepage for testing your knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. And a manifesto, that's another idea what Jörn has born in this workshop, and I like it, that EuroSpy becomes a kind of guidance for the whole community. Now we have an SPI manifesto, then we get an innovation manifesto. We could also write a safety manifesto. The workshop was big enough, by the way. Okay, so we can build out a lot of messages in different languages. So we have this opportunity. Okay.
Yeah.
I think otherwise more questions. You don't ask any question about PI manager. He mentioned it as well. Its relationship to innovation? Maybe I asked the question. Okay. I was waiting for you, you know?
Any improvement. The nucleus of an innovation for the organization that is going to improve.
Yeah.
From the organizations and perspectives that is improving, the improvement is an innovation because they haven't it right now.
Yeah.
Even if it is the implementation of a best practice that is well known, for the organizations that does it the first time, it is an innovation.
Yeah, so he is actually right, because we have different forms of innovation. That's also my understanding: process innovation, product innovation, service innovation, even human innovation. Yeah, where you think about learning to unlearn. Yeah. So the point is there are different dimensions of innovation, and that's another feature we should consider when we restructure the existing innovation manager.
Yeah.
But I heard from Gabriele yesterday an idea. I was sleeping one night over it. Yeah? Then I heard it today from you, and I start to think. Yeah? And one idea was that when we have so many professions like PI manager, SPI manager, and innovation manager, and then social responsibility, and we have overlappings, we should think like in software architecture, where we have a core of modules which can be used, but they can be applied to different professions. The only difference to what you discussed with me and what we usually do in software is, in software we don't take just a copy of the module, but we adapt the application parameters. Yeah, so that the same module works for a different customer. So if you just make copy-paste of the same module, it will not work. Yeah? So it means we can take the same principles, but the examples have to be exchanged depending on the domain. Yeah? That is what I got as an idea from you yesterday. That was my question, my input. Okay, good. So thank you very much. Yeah? Yeah. We have a break, I think, and then we go to the sessions. Yeah?